Hey everybody, how's it going? Real quick book review today. Here's the cover. I recently read The Road Through the Wall by Shirley Jackson. This is a pretty cool cover, I thought. This is her first book from 1948. Somehow, as a big literature fan, I have never read Jackson's novels. I've only read The Lottery, and that was a long time ago. So I just decided to start at the beginning. This is basically a book about an upper class or a neighborhood with money, we'll say, that lives on this road called Pepper Street, and there's basically a big brick wall dividing them from the lower class neighborhood, and they're quite hoity-toity and quite prejudiced, and their children are as well. You can see that how it trickles down to them. And this book is told in an interesting way. I really like the way it was told. You get these little vignette scenes. There's really no plot in this book. Um, each chapter, each scene is just focusing on a different family, and it's some sort of quirky, strange story about that family. And so that's the way the book is told. It's slow paced. Yeah, it's a pretty slow paced book. Like I said, there's really no solid plot, so you're just reading about these characters. Again, without spoiling anything, you do have some shit that hits the fan moments, but there's quite a long period of character development. The way she develops the characters is cool. Now, there are a lot of characters in this story, and I have to say, I did have a little bit of a hard time in the beginning keeping everybody straight, but by the end of the book, not even really by the end, by the middle of the book, you pretty much have it straight. And this book is only 220 pages, so it's a quick read. Yeah, and there's having not really read her, there's just an odd vibe to this story. It's in a good way. It's just has this looming sense of dread underneath everything. Nothing extremely terrible is happening at any given moment, but you just feel like something is off. And the characters are quirky and weird, and the scenes are strange, and there are a few scenes in here that come out of nowhere that are just, I was like, what the fuck was that? Just if I can see why people like her. Just the style is very odd. And I can see how in other books that maybe are a little more horror themed, perhaps, how she could really develop that kind of style more. Overall, I like this story, but I didn't love it. It just, you're reading a lot of just little scenes that are cool. Everything is well written. It didn't do a ton for me. Although I have to say, overall, the amount of character development and the way she was like tackling like a class issue thing in this very strange way, not even strange, just a creative way, was very interesting. But the overall writing of this is so excellent that it is definitely one that I will reread at some point. I don't think I'll reread this until I've read all of her other novels. Be interesting to come back to this and read it with that new perspective and see how she evolves as an author. But if this was just a single book, I don't know if I would come back and reread this, but I did enjoy it. So let me show you the cover one more time. Road Through the Wall. Definitely worth reading if you haven't read Shirley Jackson. You have to be into like horror lit. There's no like plot. It's not incredibly thrilling and intense the whole way through, but it's one of those slow burn. It almost has like a gothic feel to it. Which I guess gothics normally deal with haunted houses and stuff, but it just has this like, it's not even a haunted neighborhood. It's just a neighborhood where something is just off and you can't quite put your finger on it. And that's a really cool way of writing a book. It really gets under your skin while not being overtly in your face about anything. So definitely an interesting read. I'm currently reading The Best Horror of the Year. I had mentioned that in my other video. I like to read a book and a short story collection at the same time, so I'm reading that one, the first volume. And I just started a book called Negative Space by B.R. Yeager. Not a huge author, but a book that a lot of people have talked about. He also wrote a book called Amygdalatropolis, which is a mouthful, that a lot of people tend to talk about on here. More transgressive fiction, kind of, and it's quite a strange book. It's one I'm gonna have a lot to say about. So far, I like it a lot. It's just very odd, very intense, very strange. So that's what I'm reading. Let me know if you've picked any books up lately, what you've read. If you've read Road to the Wall or any other Shirley Jackson, definitely going to continue reading her. Although this didn't wow me or blow me away, I totally will read her next stuff. Her next book is called, I believe it's Hangs a Man, and I've heard that one's really trippy. So that's cool. All right, that's all. Peace out, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you later.